people are dead after a house fire in Juneau County. A Pere church confirming the victims had ties to the local Wisconsin Evangelical Lutheran denomination. St. Mark's Ministry says Carl and Hannah Henslin were vacationing at their rental home in Necedah with extended family. It named the people who died, which included 2 of the couple's daughters, Hannah's father, and 2 of Hannah's sisters. A special statement from Wisconsin Evangelical Lutheran Synod's president says a number of other family members survived the blaze. As we've reported, the Juneau County Sheriff's Office says the home was engulfed in flames when they responded Sunday morning. Multiple people had evacuated to the driveway. Deputies said 3 adults and 3 children did not make it out. The state fire marshal is assisting now with the investigation. At this time, authorities believe the fire was accidental.